Shiva says, having fixed one's eyes on a particular object, one should slowly withdraw the sight from that object as well as slowly eliminate the knowledge of that object along with the thoughts and impression of it. Then, O Devi, one abides in Sunya, where there is nothing other than this exist, where is the state of all-inclusive of infinity. Beautifully, Paramashiva gives us how when we withdraw, unclutch from the higher reality, how Bhagavan says, the prana in us also travels as prana in him and prana into the Divya Sariri of Paramashiva and comes back to us. The higher reality, who we are, manifesting as higher consciousness and higher space that we are, the existential reality. Bhagavan gives an example of a rose. If you eliminate, the rose does not understand it is a rose. When you remove that label, and if you remove the knowledge of the rose, whatever its color is, whatever the shape is, and then if you remove the thought impressions, the rose has the perfume, or when somebody gave a rose, everything when you remove, then what exists as a rose? The quantum space, that rose exists as quantum frequency. If you understand, if you remove the materialistic world and you experience the quantum space, who you are, how you exist, Bhagavan says you can experience the higher reality. And when we are able to manifest the higher dimension, when we have the will persistence to understand the greater science that Bhagavan is revealing, even though we don't understand all these greater truths, Bhagavan beautifully says, a woman who is carrying the milk, she was coming late to give the milk to the houses. And the owners asked why she is late every day. And every day she says, I sat in the satsang and I came late. And they asked, what did you understand from the satsang? She said, I understood nothing. And she carried on being late every time. So the owner got really upset and took the basket that she had, put it in the tap and said, can you fetch the water from the tap? She said, I cannot fetch the water because it has holes. It will just go away. And the owner said, this is exactly how you sit in satsang if you don't understand anything. It is of no use to you. And then the milk lady answers beautifully saying, yes, I did not understand anything, but you understood that the basket is now clean. When we understand, sit in all the satsangs again and again, all the power manifestation, whether we are understanding Paramashiva or not, whether we are accepting Paramashiva or not, again and again aligning to all this greater truth, Bhagavan is revealing. Bhagavan who has come as our Guru and initiating each one of us into the higher science again and again. Just being there, we will click with that. How Bhagavan says in swimming, you just sit and watch. You sit and watch for a few days and then slowly you want to get into the water. But you drown few days. But one day it clicked with you and you start swimming, and after that you can never forget it. Same way Bhagavan says how you will cycle even though you fall many times. Once you learn the cycling, then you can simply remember forever. The cognitive shift that happens in you can be understood, like how you know a solution to the problem. You can never forget it after that. Anybody says anything else also, you'll go back and say, no, that is what it is. Bhagavan says there's a two method. Once Paramashiva as your Guru says you just imbibe the truth. Like Krishna tells Arjuna, if you can see this blue crow, you can shoot this arrow. And simply Arjuna saw as blue crow. Because he was in oneness with Krishna, he understood whenever Krishna says something, it is only reality. Other than that, there is nothing. And Narayana, he simply was able to manifest the reality. The science of Paramashiva as reality, who is in quantum, who is showing us the greater reality, because he says it in a reality, or the Sankhya, the step-by-step understanding, we are not just the materialistic world. And each of these powerful cognition, how Bhagavan says, how we exist, and understanding all the greater science of the string theory, or the quantum theory, or the plasticity, neuroplasticity, how when you are in survival mode, how now they have found that simply you can manifest the greater realities more than what your logical mind says. And Bhagavan says, as long as your neuroplasticity is ready and available for you to transform, you are young. And that beautiful science happens when you start continuously being in the initiation, continuously being in the Guruvak and following the integrity and simple obedience. And simply you'll see the manifestation downloading in you as beautiful science, as Sankhya. This greater reality, here he says, then, O Devi, one abides in Sunya, the state where there is nothing other than this exist, which is a state of all-inclusive and or infinity. Constantly, when we understand we are Paramashiva, live in that, and also we are in this body. The body itself is not us. We are experiencing ourselves in this body also, but manifesting Paramashiva as our reality. How the flute becomes such a beautiful music when it empties itself. When you unclutch from the materialistic world and become empty, you start manifesting all the powers of Paramashiva. Beautifully, the Apta Pramana,